Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, all of us, and may we be under the care of God. Who I honorable is sporting lecturer is Mr. Rego Ismadhika at home and the friend of all English classes. Before starting our group presentation on the force about the chapter 10 forces, I would like to introduce my group members. First, my name is Ismadhika Imarta Yanda. Second is Rahma Dayandri. The last one is Rizky, Aulia, Ramadhany. Okay, the next. In this section, we will show you about topics for discussion. The first topic is passive voice. Next. In this section about passive voice, we will show and explain by Rizky, Aulia, Ramadhany. Rizky, Aulia, Ramadhany, time is yours.
Thank you for moderator. Okay, in this section, I will explain about passive voice. So, what is passive voice? Passive voice is sentences that are subjects receive the action of the verb. It's mean not the subject do the action. Or we can say in bahasa, passive voice atau kalimat pasif adalah kalimat yang subjeknya dikenai suatu pekerjaan atau tindakan dari kata kerjanya. Artinya bukan subjek tersebut yang melakukan aksi. Next slide. Okay, the next is forming the passive voice. Passive voice consists of two elements. There are to be plus verb 3. For the example, we can see on the screen in positive form, the house was built in 1899. And for the negative form, the house wasn't built in 1899. For interrogative, was the house built in 1899? And the last is for negative interrogative. Wasn't the house built in 1899? Next slide. Passive voice have many forms and must be adapted to the formula of the previous active sentence. So this is passive voice formula in tenses. The first one is simple present tense. So the formula of the passive voice is subject plus is or am or are plus verb 3. The example, DK is beaten by all his competitors. The second one is simple past. The formula for passive voice is subject plus was or were plus verb 3. The example, she was already gone. The next is simple future. For the formula is subject plus will be plus verb 3. For the example, it will be made into a nice sweater. Next slide. The next is passive voice formula in present continuous tenses. The formula is subject plus is or am or are plus being plus verb 3. The example, the tasks are being done by herself. The next is for past continuous. The formula is subject plus was or were plus being plus verb 3. And the example is the trees were being cut every day. The next sentences is future continuous. For the formula is subject plus will be plus verb 3. The example, this room will be clean at the moment. Next slide. The next is past future continuous tense. The formula is subject plus will or should plus be plus verb 3. The example is you should be promoted as a manager. The next formula is for present perfect continuous. The formula is subject plus have or has plus been plus verb 3. The example, she has been betrayed by her own best friend. The next one is past perfect continuous. The formula is subject plus had plus been plus verb 3. The example, the children had been educated well by their mother. The next one is future perfect continuous. The formula, subject plus will plus have plus been plus verb 3. For the example, these fruits would have been rotten. And the last one is for passive voice formula in past future perfect continuous tense. The formula is subject plus will or should plus have plus been plus verb 3. The example, the fire would have been gone if the firefighter came on time. Next slide. So we can see on the screen, this is the table for the example passive voice in any tense, like simple present, present continuous, simple past, past continuous, present perfect, past perfect, future, future continuous, present conditional, past conditional, and infinitive and infinitive tense. So that what I can present. The next slide will be presented by my friend DK. To DK, the time is yours.
Okay, thanks to Rizky, Aulia, Ramadhany. In this section, I want to show you about change active to passive voice. This is look subject and the object. Put the object in the active sentence, become the subject sentence passive. Second is put the auxiliary verb or helping verb as with the subject. Third is change the main verb in the sentence active sentence become the past participle or verb in type 3. In this example, we have two types sentence. First is sentence active and the passive active sentence. Okay, in the active sentence, we have to example is today they buy 5 books. The subject or we have to change in the passive sentence by them, and the object of the active sentence 5 books object this is we have to change become subject in the passive sentence. Next. Okay, next material is passive voice with infinitive. The infinitive passive voice is used after modal verbs and other most verbs normally followed by an infinitive. The sentence passive infinitive used after modal verb and verb or others usually followed by infinitive. For the example is one first, you have to be test on your English grammar. Second is John might be promoted next year. Third, she want to be invited to the party. Four, I expect to be surprised on my birthday. And the last one is you might be disappointed. Next. The next material is when we use passive voice. We have to the passive voice. The one is making general statement or announcement. The second is writing formal or scientific text. That is, we don't know who did the action. The last one is we want to emphasize the receiver of the action. Next is the next material will be explained about vocabulary. So Rahma Dayandri, time is yours.
Thank you for moderator. In this section, I will explain about vocabulary. The first is noun. The word is claim. The sentence is the material is secure in a claim between a fixed head and a moving head. Break, the point where the material breaks. Strength, the indicate the compressive strength of the material. Material, the moving head presses down on the material and the load is increased. Beam, this is a rigid connection between a column and a beam. Circuit, test your knowledge of electrical circuit. Railway, hot weather make railway line longer. Forging, in forging, metal is heated to make it softer. The second is verb, and the word is force, and the sentence is a hammer strike the material with a specified force. Yield, the yield point and or the breaking point is measured. Pull, the clamp are pulled apart with a specified force. Deform, to find out if a material will deform or break when it is compressed. Shows this measurement show you the tensile strength of the material. First, you need to measure the material. The third is adjective. The word is secure. The sentence is the material is secure with two clamps, one at each other. Tensile. It's got the highest melting point and tensile strength of any metal. Flexible. The column and beam must be made of strong but flexible materials. Resistant, but they do not need to be compression resistant. The word is adverb. The word is vertically. The sentence is the bottom of the material is plain in a clump so that it stands vertically. Certainly, development of technology certainly has shown tremendous progress. Slightly, they can be bent slightly. Usually, it is usually placed around a lift shaft of stairwell. Okay, in this section, I will explain about article that I found. In this modern era, development of technology certainly has shown tremendous progress. For the sentence is simple perfect tense because the sentence happened in the past, which is still valid today. And many things from various sectors have used existence of technology. This sentence is compound sentence and use simple perfect tense. With the existence of technology, of course, it has had a considerable impact on the life of humankind in various aspects or dimensions. For this sentence is simple perfect tense. According to Roger, 1986, as with communication technology, which is a hardware device on an organization that contains social values that allow users or individuals to collect, process, and even exchange information. For the sentence is complex sentence with adjective clause because hardware device in organization is modify the noun communication technology. Such a situation where technology is able to change something into reality. For example, if the past when someone could not talk to each other, people who were different place or far apart, then after the telephone communication technology, that person could talk to each other without limits and distance. For the sentence is complex sentence because consists of simple sentence plus subordinate sentence and use simple past tense. From here, the moon was discovered and emerged by a variety of simple devices ranging from telephone, which were based on analog, continued to advance, then continued to grow to emerge various other sophisticated electronic device. For the sentence is for the first line is use simple past tense and then past continuous tense, and onward advance growth and emerge is verb 1 because verb 1 is used after the use of the word to. This technology continues to integrate with each other. Communication technology that is present is one example of the type. For the sentence is simple present tense because use auxiliary verb to be. And this is because the more developed or develop a human civilization, the technology will continue to experience development or progress in harmonizing and even offset the pattern of human civilization. For the sentence is complex sentence because all consists of simple sentence plus subordinate sentences. That's all for me. I will return to the moderator.
Okay, thanks to Rahma Dayandri. I will explain the text I create. Here we'll look at the adjective clause. Next. Energy has become a vital necessity for the community, which is needed to sustain their life and support their daily activities. Okay, in this word, we have to one sentence is bold, which is needed to sustain their life and support their daily activities. Which is adjective clause. Adjective clause is explained the word before it is about community. For the example, to cook their food, humans need heat, energy, or to meet water need in urban areas. People need electrical energy to turn on and run water pumps. Electrical energy is generally used by the people of Indonesia whose comes from power plants that use fossil fuels. We have one sentence. Ball is was comes from power plants that use fossil fuels. Was is adjective clause and the comes is verb. Was explain the preceding sentence before about Indonesian. Next, the disadvantage of using fossil fuels is that their combinations that combination produce greenhouse gases. There will be increasing the concentration of greenhouse gases in the earth, which cause an increase in earth temperature and global warming. Next, the earth is getting hotter, so humans have to think about switching from fuels that are not environmentally friendly to fuels that are environmentally friendly. We have one sentence is that are environmentally friendly. That is adjective clause explain the preceding sentence before about environmentally friendly. Next, use utilization of solar thermal energy can be an option. The sun is a source of energy that is large and continuous or not exhausted, especially the electromagnetic energy emitted by the sun. The use of solar power does not require combustion, so it does not produce exhaust gases in the form of greenhouse gases. Utilization of solar energy is done by converting sunlight into heat of electrical energy, which is to meet human energy needs, which is adjective clause, which explain the preceding sentence before about electrical energy. Next, utilization of solar power is done by converting. Okay, the two basic types of solar energy are sunlight and photovoltaic, which is solar energy, which both is adjective clause and which explain the preceding sentence about sunlight and photovoltaic before. The basic material for capturing sunlight and converting it into energy is a semiconductor material. Generally, the material used is silicon material, black. This silicon-based material is made into plates and mounted on poles that they can be pointed directly at the sun. We have one sentence bold is that they can be pointed directly at the sun. That is adjective clause explain the preceding sentence about uh, silicon material. Okay, Mons. The silicon is a material that can reflect the sun like glasses. That that is a adjective clause or explain the preceding sentence about the silicon as a material. The working of a glass silicon plate or what is known as a solar panel are large silicon glasses that concentrate sunlight on a line or point. That that is adjective clause that explains the preceding sentence about the large silicon glasses. The concentration of the sunlight will produce heat. Then the heat generated is used to produce hot steam. The heat from the steam pressure is used to run a turbine which then generates electricity. At the beginning of the research of the utilization of the solar power, solar panels were usually used for large amounts of energy use such as industrial. Next. However, people are increasingly realizing that they cannot rely on energy derived from fossil fuels. The last is about sentence both is that they cannot rely on energy derived from fossil fuels. That is adjective clause. The adjective clause that explains the preceding sentence about increasingly realizing. Okay, this is what underlies the idea of solar panels being made in small size for household use. Certainly, there are many providers of solar panels for household scale use. For long-term use, the use of solar panels is considered very cheap. By using solar panels, people can save electricity. Next. Okay, guys, that's our presentation from Group 10. Thanks for looking at our video presentation. Hopefully, we can learn from it. This is certificate or participant. This certificate is awarded to Electrical Engineering Class A. Thank you from Group 10. Next. Okay, I'm Ismadhika Imarta Yanda and Rahma Dayandri, and the last is Rizky, Aulia, Ramadhany. Say thanks for all. That's all from our teams. Thank you for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.